Hi, thank you for staying so long. I'm living here, so I don't go anywhere in the next probably few weeks. The panel today is shorter than expected because we spent too much time on lunch. We have here actually 3 panelists, and I like them very much because they come from different countries, they have different backgrounds. And again, I think and I believe strongly that identity is key. So you cannot do banking without clear identity. You cannot do anything without identity. And when it's about remote, when it's about online, identity is even more important. So today we'll discuss with the panelists about KYC and how we get connected to the bank, to the system. We'll talk about the changes in Europe because soon we'll have the digital wallet where you have the ID in it, and that's spectacular. We are more advanced than the United States, so that's clear. But we are less advanced than countries like Kazakhstan, Asian countries, and so on, where the big brother is probably there. So, but people don't care. Anyway, so we'll talk today about KYC with the panelists here, I'll ask them to introduce like 2 minutes because it's better to tell your story here together. So Sebastian, please, you start.
Yeah, does the microphone work? Yeah, so my name is Sebastian Elfors. I work as a senior architect at IDnow, which is a German-French identity service provider. And I work also with standardization, so I'm a member of Intesi, SUN, W3C, File Alliance, and Open Wallet Foundation. And we are also very much involved in the new standardization related to the eIDAS wallet.
Thank you. So we have over here Viky Manaila. Thank you, Viky. I know you are remote, somewhere in Italy, hello. I think. So.
Unfortunately, I couldn't join you physically. Although I'm really sorry for that. Indeed, I'm in Italy hosting an international meeting for Cloud Signature Consortium, for which I'm president. So, hello everyone, I'm Viky Manaila, Trust Services Director with Intesi Group and President for Cloud Signature Consortium. I've been involved in different regulatory activities around digital identity, digital signatures, and trust services, specifically in eIDAS and eIDAS 2, also in different standardization bodies. Together with Sebastian, we meet each other often in Etsy, in Open Wallet Foundation, in Trust over IP, and other initiatives around digital identity.
Thank you, Viky. Thank you, Viky. So Adrian from Namirial here.
Now it should work. Okay, too loud. So, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Adrian Dinculescu. I'm representing Namirial, an Italian-based company. I'm the managing director of Namirial Romania, so based in Bucharest, handling all the CE region, focusing on several countries in the CE. Working quite a lot with electronic signatures. eIDAS, of course, has an impact on trust services, long-term archiving, and onboarding solutions. So thank you for joining this panel.
Okay, so I'll start the question very, very fast because I don't know if we have like 40 identities right here. I don't know you, I know some of you. But my question to the panelists here is, how important is the digital identity? How important is for the banks and how important is for people using it? Because, we talked about wide acceptance earlier. I think it was one of the first panels. So you can have digital identity, but if just 5 of us out of 10 million use it, doesn't make sense. So the market will drop it. So how important is, how do you see at IDnow digital identity and how banks are using it? Are they happy with it? They expect more then out of it, and is it safe? How do you see it IDnow?
So as regards to banking, there is this directive AMLD5, which is about anti-money laundering. And it goes back a couple of years, and there are different implementations across Europe. For example, in Germany, BaFin has a video identity proofing scheme. Here in Romania, we have ADR, which is a new scheme. In France, it's called PVID, and so on. All of these schemes are great, and they have been used for years to onboard customers, to open bank accounts and use their bank accounts. However, moving on, we have PSD2, and that is the directive that also regulates strong customer authentication. And that takes it one step further, I would say, because there you are using digital identities that you can reuse for authenticate time and time again, which is an improvement, I would say, for the banks. And as regards to the eIDAS wallet that's now coming out, hopefully being approved by the EU Commission and EU Parliament now in December, means that the banks need to accept the eIDAS wallet also for PSD2 transactions, and we might come back to that discussion.
So what you say, the banks have to accept, they are obliged by law to accept the digital identity. So guys, you know, we have digital signature, and Namirial can talk about it a lot. And there are no banks, there are no institutions, they don't accept electronically signed documents. And this is against the law. How we can fix that? How do you see it, Adrian?
Well, you asked about digital identity. I think it's a must for banks, for financial institutions in general, not only in Romania, but everywhere else. And there is the legal background to make use of digital identities. And now with the European Union Digital Identity Wallet, digital identity will become even more important and even stricter to be recognized by.
It breaks. No more battery. So I'll give you my.
Let's see. Okay. Okay. So it will become even more critical for everybody to accept digital identity, and there are different initiatives. Sebastian mentioned them very well. I mean, besides the EU level ones, there are the local initiatives. Giving a specific example with ADR and the remote video identification rules that were adopted some time ago, 2 years ago. From us, I can talk from a trust service provider point of view. We have to adapt and to recognize different types of means of identification of a user whenever issuing or providing a trust. Okay, let's see this one. So we have to be able to use different types of identification means. We have, of course, since forever relied on face-to-face identification. Then we introduced, to some extent in Romania, the remote video identification with video onboarding. Now there are the self-onboarding solutions that are coming up. IDnow is one of the largest providers in the world, if not the largest. So for us, it's important, for us as a trust service provider, it's important to know what is happening and to adapt the provisioning of trust services to the requirements of the legislation and to the solutions in the market.
So Viky, you are monitoring us from somewhere in Europe. Are you
Yes.
there? Are you still with us? So you are very well connected to what happens in the EU. You are connected to what happens here in Romania, because you are Romanian. People should know you are Romanian.
Yeah.
So you work for one of the TSPs here. So you are very well connected. And can you tell us more about, maybe, because we have 21 minutes left, more about this wallet, because it's coming, right? So it's there.
Yes, it's on the way.
Yeah.
It's
good
around the
news.
corner,
Yeah.
I would say. Well, yes. Actually, last week it was released the version of eIDAS 2 regulation coming out after the trialogue. We know that is a process that started in June 2021, when the Commission published the proposal to update the current eIDAS regulation, coming with a proposal for eIDAS 2, with the eIDAS wallet as a central piece where everything is moving around. After June 2021, the file entered into trialogue. Is a standard process for a regulation where parallel discussions came around with amendments from from Council of the European Union, from the Parliament, and once each policymaker came up with its proposal for amendments, they entered into technical trialogue, discussing each and every article and paragraph, reaching a consensus for everything. So this version has been released publicly last week. The next step is to be voted in the European Parliament ITRE committee, who is the committee responsible for this file. In parallel to that, the European Commission launched two separate calls, one for the development of the reference implementation of the EUDI wallet. So each member state can take this prototype of wallet and adopt it to national language and specificities. And then we have the so-called for large-scale pilots, consortium with different companies working to implement within main use cases with a cross-border transactions approach, the EUDI wallet and digital identities. In all the consortia, in all the four consortia, we have banks working together. We have Visa, for instance, in EWC consortium. So I can tell anyone that yes, EUDI wallet is very close to us. Yes, we have banks working to implement this and to provide services based on the authentication with a EUDI wallet, because we know such authentication will have the highest level of assurance regarding the identity of citizens. But I would like also to raise the point that perhaps we should shift a bit the paradigm, and we should stop asking every time how a bank knows for sure who is on the other side of the internet or of the communication. But the customers need to know with the same certainty who is on the other side that is asking their data in an online transaction. Because we have seen there are a lot of cyber threats are raising, and we don't feel comfortable when we get a message or an email asking us information about or inserting password or sensitive data. So we have to know for sure who is on the other side of the transaction. And the EUDI wallet will allow both sides of the of a transaction, the user, the citizen, and also the relying party, to know with a certain level of assurance who is on the other side.
So you say that the 460 million living in Europe will trust this wallet just because it was issued by the European Union and some bureaucrats?
Trust is a different question. Trust has to be built. So we don't trust something just because it's assured by the law. It's a question of awareness, of market education, and how we work together, policymakers, solution providers, consumers associations, and standardization bodies to create this trust, to build this trust.
I understand. So now, Adrian, you want to say something on it?
Just a short comment. So Viky presented very well the timeline, what happened until now, where are we standing with the wallet, and there is trust in the wallet. We should separate the wallet itself from the adoption rate, right? There are some goals set up by the Commission with regards to adoption. We'll see if this really happened and when sufficient rate of adoption.
Can you say a year, like 2026, 2025, 2028, when it's like, you know, gambling kind of?
It's just suppositions. Right now, there are variations of opinions ranging from 2025, 26 up to 2027, 28. So the actual adoption of the wallet. The wallet will bring, for sure, a lot of benefits. There's still unclear things. For example, the German Savings Bank Association just issued an opinion quite recently. I think it was on the 20th of November with regards to obligations of using the wallet for the payments industry. So there are things to be clarified, even though the eIDAS 2.0 is closer than ever to materializing, there's still some things to be clarified, and then there is the adoption.
I understand. So Sebastian, you are an architect, right? So you told me when we talked last time that people are in control. So, you know, I have my identity, but if I go to ING, I say, I want to give you this data. I'm not going to give you anything about myself. I'm not going to tell you about my daughter in the United States. So how we can handle that?
So this is a very important question, and it relates very much to privacy. And this has been a topic that has been debated for years, really, and there has been discussions in the EU Parliament about it even. So in the final eIDAS 2 regulation, it's now finally stated that the eIDAS wallet must support selective disclosure, and that means that you should be able to present only the attributes you want to present to a verifier. For example, a good example is a girl going into a bar and she only wants to show that she's about 20 years old and show her photo, nothing else. And the eIDAS wallet must support that. Another important thing is so-called unlinkability, meaning that verifiers shouldn't be able to collude or collaborate in order to get out more data from the user. And one hot topic is also on the issuer side, if the issuers should be able to collude, collaborate or not. And it's leaning towards that they should not. So we need to look into more advanced zero knowledge proofs in order to solve that purpose.
Yeah, so if you are in the United States and you are below 21, you cannot go to a bar and ask for a drink. That's stupid, but in Romania and Europe, it's 18 years old. And by the way, guys, you are in Baccarat room. This is one of the most beautiful places actually in Sinai and in Romania. And Baccarat is a game. I lived in Las Vegas for like 8 years. So, but here we are bankers. But Baccarat game comes from Italian. So Baccarat means zero game. And usually there are two players. One is the player, and on the other side of the table is the banker. I don't know if it is about the same kind of banker or not. But anyway, coming back to here in the Baccarat room, talking about digital identity, I think that, of course, we want to share data, we control data, and all the legislation in Europe is about, as previous panels mentioned many times, we as citizens, we are in control of our personal data, and this is key. And I can tell you in Romania, it happens. So GDPR, it works in our favor, it works in the favor of our clients, whether you are a banker, a fintech, or anything else. Now, so when coming back to eIDAS, because we talk about eIDAS, we talk about new stuff. So Viky, what else, what's next after eIDAS 2.0? Something new is coming, right?
Well, after eIDAS 2.0, we have to implement actually those services, and we need to build that trust in order to roll out and to have as many adopters on one side. On the other side, service providers that needs to understand the importance of relying on such a powerful identification mechanism. There are a lot of discussions about the surveillance mechanism that such a wallet could insert. Well, I can tell you for sure that would be quite impossible because the wallet has to be certified, and one of the requirements is to not allow the service provider to have visibility or evidence where the user, the citizen, is using the credentials and the wallet. And also the wallet provider cannot see where the citizen is using the wallet, where the transaction is coming from. So it is for the first time when we have a tool as citizens, as consumers, that for sure will not track us, and we know to whom we share our data, with whom, for what purpose, and we can at any point in the future withdraw that consent, which is not happening right now. So we open a website, we sign up for the service, and we have cookies, accept or denial, and we cannot go back and ask, please don't stop using my data. I don't need your service anymore.
Okay, Sebastian, you mentioned to me zero knowledge. Can you tell us more? Because it's like strange things to the bankers for sure. And can you tell us more about the zero knowledge in terms of eIDAS 2 and what's next?
Yes, so zero knowledge proofs means essentially that you should only disclose a statement, really. So for example, a service provider could ask, are you a citizen of Sinaia? And then you should be able to ask yes or no, and that's the only thing that the verifier should know. They shouldn't really know anything about your address or anything else than that. So that's a good example of a zero knowledge proof. And then there are a couple of really advanced protocols that backs this up. And ETSI, the European Telecommunication Standards Institute, have issued a report called 119476, which describes all of this in detail. If you want to learn more, please read it. And there's also one more thing that's quite interesting. In that report, we analyzed how selective disclosure can be applied on eIDAS 2. And we found two protocols. It's the ISO Mobile Driving License, MSO, and it's the SDEWT associated with the W3C verifiable credentials. But we have also identified a new ISO standard, which is a lot more advanced based on real zero knowledge proofs. So we will describe that in a new version coming out soon.
Thank you. So now TSP, so we have Adrian here again. We have other TSPs in the room, but anyway, Adrian, what's the impact on your business? This digital wallet, because it's a huge change. I mean, you guys, you are on the market for many years, but you have to keep up with all these changes, right?
We have, and we're doing this by being part of one of the large-scale pilots. Viky mentioned them in the potential one. And we do this in order to be up to date with whatever changes happen and whatever pilots are being implemented. There are a lot of things related to this wallet. For example, the attributes, a TSP could decide to become an attribute provider or attestation of attributes provider. You have to make sure that you can accept the wallet. Just on a side note, one important aspect to there was a long debate in the discussions regarding eIDAS 2.0 is the provision of free signatures, which has now been agreed that the wallet will contain free signatures for the users. And of course, this has an impact on the trust service providers. Now that you have free signatures in the wallet, how does this impact the business? What do you do next? To whom you issue qualified certificates, right? Because the wallets will have such certificates. Imagine now that there is a high adoption rate for it, and then all of the users have certificates. So there are many things at which you have to be careful. Now, the wallet is not the only thing. The wallet is coming, the UD wallet is coming. There are other things that are being implemented as well. If you think about Romania, we can think about the electronic identity card.
Yeah, that's coming, right? Finally. Next year.
It's coming to some point. It's already implemented as a pilot in Cluj. And how does the TSP make use of the electronic identity card in order to issue a qualified certificate? Because it has data about the user which can be used for the identification purpose, both in person and remotely. So it's very important for a TSP to look at the European legislation, to be part of it. I mentioned the potential pilot, but as well LSP, the potential LSP, but also to be aware of local implementations like the electronic identity card in Romania.
Excellent. So, guys, Romania, we have 5 minutes left. If you have questions, you can ask questions now. So it's not, we don't need to invite you. But before wallet, before digital identities, I can tell you in the Nordics, they still have bank ID. The system is 20 years old. So the Nordics were more advanced at that time in terms of using your bank credentials for anything else. So you can go to the police station and use your bank credentials. That was great. The acceptance rate, because I like this, acceptance rate is key. Imagine in Romania having the new, very expensive ID card with 666 numbers on it. You know, it was a huge debate on that. If we like it or not, it's a cultural issue and things. So acceptance rate is key. If we don't convince the state, the bankers, because you have a very important role as a banker, you can tell them this is safe, it's secure, you should use it. Okay? Otherwise, they don't use it. So you can have a chip and pin and chip ID card in your wallet. It's the size of a credit card, right? But you don't use it because you are afraid of giving it to anyone. And that's a blocker, right? I heard that in Germany, if you want to use the ID card, you have to memorize a 6-digit PIN. And if you don't know the 6-digit PIN, it's almost useless. So coming back to the panels here, do you think that Romania will lag behind again, like with the open banking and digital signature and things, or maybe there's an opportunity for us? I know you are a Swede and you work for IDnow, but it's a question for us in Romania. Can we, ProgLip, can we have finally the best ID card, the most advanced kind of wallet? Are we prepared for that? Are banks ready for it? Fintechs, because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, we have 2 minutes, I know. So what do you think? We'll start with IDnow, even because you are present here. So what's your opinion about, is Romania has a better chance than other countries?
I heard about a very interesting debate in the EU Parliament just a couple of weeks ago, and it was hosted by Romanian stakeholders. And one of the important conclusions that was made there is that Romania can reuse a lot of the technology and experience from Western Europe. So what has been developed the past 20 years in Western Europe, Romania should possibly be able to implement in 3 to 4 years. So you get a head start, right? And so people are really positive in the EU Parliament and on that level.
I would normally start, and I would say that I'm a bit skeptical about the adoption rate, and I'll tell you why. There are countries very advanced which use a lot of this digital identity and electronic identity cards. To give you an example, Italy, where there are tens of millions of citizens, and the government made it mandatory for those digital identities to be used for accessing public services. Romania is just at the starting point, right? We're trying to, we just issued the PSC-ID, we just have the raw eID, the electronic identity schema, which was, by the way, great thing that was notified to the European Commission. There is this wallet coming up, there is the, I think I mentioned the previous electronic identity card. So there are lots of things coming up. There's still a lot of people that are fighting against it. I participated in a meeting in the government, and there was a big scandal with people that think that they would be tracked down to every single activity that they do because
conspiracy
of
kind
exactly,
of.
Exactly.
I
so
understand.
Education is key. if education is done properly, and then what Viky presented earlier is presented in the right way, and people understand it, then there will be an adoption, and then Romania has the chance to catch up. So I'm positive with catching up.
Okay, so finally you are positive because you started
I said I want
positive.
to start a little bit on the negative side, but I end up on the positive one.
And now, Viky, a question for you because you are over there, you know, supervising everyone. You have 20 seconds. Which is the most advanced country in terms of digital identity and wallet? Who do you think will be the first? It's like, you know, gambling or sporting event. Which country is the most advanced? Thank you.
Well, in my opinion, of course, the most advanced country in digital identity is Italy, because we have numbers and facts. We know Adrian mentioned speed. We know how many citizens, more than 40 million Italian citizens have speed. We have more than 2 billion transactions done through speed. Is a matter of acceptance, is a matter of where you can use what the government or the private providers are giving to you as a mechanism, and if you trust or not, if you are informed properly and you trust that mechanism. But is on the provider side to give citizens the opportunity to use that digital identities, and they will start to adopt it once they will understand the benefits.
So Italy is the pole position. I understand it's okay. Namirial is Italian, and InfoChat as well. So time is up. If you have questions, please shoot now or later. You know, if you don't, imagine one day in Romania you have a bank account with Raiffeisen, and you say, I want to open an account with ING, and you say, your wallet, do that for me. Please open an account for me with ING. This is possible within 2 years. So imagine banking and payments this way. And by the way, we are in Sinaia, Romania. I live here. I like it. I love it. The largest, the fastest backbone of internet crosses the Prahova Valley, so we are connected to anything here, and we are the fastest, I think, in Central Eastern Europe. Let's get connected. Let's have digital ID working, and be first, and beat the Italians. Thank you very much.
Great,
Thank
great panel.
you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nic. Thank you to your panelists.